Didn't have to cut me off. Think I like it never happened, and that we were nothing. I don't even need your love, but you treat me like a stranger, and I feel so low. No, you didn't have to stoop so low. Have your friends collect your records and then change your number. I guess that I don't need that though. Now you're just somebody that I used to know. Now you're just somebody that I used to know. Now you're just somebody that I used to know.
What is going on, you guys? It is Dog Cost Crypto here with So You Want to Be a Valid... Nah, fuck it. I was going to go for the whole thing. So You Want to Be a Validator, right? So how to become a validator with David Feeder, man. What's up, man?
Howdy. Good. Yeah, good to be here. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
Dude, we're doing real good, man. So it's been a minute since I've talked to you, and like I've seen you on video for a while. I think we've talked on like what are the Twitter squares and stuff like that. But I was just saying, like, I was like, hey, bro, did you dye your hair or something, man? I was like, you're looking like a Super Saiyan over there. Like, what the hell? And he's like, can you tell me a little bit of our conversation there?
Yeah, well, I'm going gray from all the tech support calls, actually. I'm like, yeah, I used to be a ginger, and now I'm going to be white. So, yeah. Yep.
So, bro, like, it literally, I was like, dude, you dye your hair, bro? I was like, that's kind of a superpower, bro. You're literally going blonde, man. You're going NMN on us, man. But because I was telling you, like when I first met David, like I was like, oh, this guy's very, he's like not timid, but like it was like very respectful, quiet guy and stuff like that. And then like I think just over the years, just you've gained more of this anger.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. Because I'd never been on like Twitter. Well, I was on Twitter, but nobody ever heard of me until Richard shouted me out like 2 years ago, right, for that video. So yeah, I was just a mild-mannered nerd. Nobody ever heard of me. And yeah, 2 years later, I've been on Twitter and I'm making videos. Yeah, now I'm out for blood. I choose violence. It's like you got to say whatever you want. You can't really hold back. I always try to tell the truth too. It's like I don't BS or try to fool anybody. It is what it is.
No, I mean that's true and stuff. But hey, you make a lot. Well, you can make quite a few enemies, but at the end of the day, man, if you're being truthful to what's true to you, then it is what it is, right?
That's right.
So, David, would you like to give people a kind of breakdown of who you are and stuff, and how you came into Hex and stuff, as well as like, what's the magical thing you're doing on Pulsechain?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So like the super quick backstory. Loved crypto since Bitcoin, all those years ago, and then Ethereum came out all those years ago, and then I found Richard during the Bitcoin Cash fork when he got interviewed by Max Kaiser. That was like the first time I can remember like seeing Richard all those, like 2017, I think, something like that. And then, we waited for Hex for 2 years. A lot of people don't remember that. It took 2 years, just like Pulsechain, before Hex even launched when Richard was talking about it. So we already did that kind of wait. And then Hex came out. It was, I was there day one, day one FOMO, got wrecked, but kept DCAing. And then a year later, when it hit a penny, it changed my life. And I was crying in a video. I DM'd to Richard because, I took a couple $100 and I paid off all my student loans for 30 G's, and it changed my life. Like that was insane to me. That was Hex, like 2 years ago, basically, right?
No, I don't remember. I was there on the stream when you came on the stream for the first time. Me and RG were there. I can't remember for the life of me if Kinetics was there, but basically we were on the discourse, and then we're like, hey, this guy just got retweeted by thinking he wants to come on the stream. All right, let him on. And then you told your story, and we're like so moved by it. We're like, whoa. Like, I remember being kind of like I didn't even know what to say at the time. I was like, wow, dude, that's so crazy, dude. Because I mean, like, it's I know that, like, people's student loan debt is it's a real thing. It's a real thing for a lot of people. It's not going to get forgiven like women's debt, but like, most college debt in America is now held by females. So that's why they're trying to like, get rid of it and pass it on to male taxpayers. But anyway, besides that, so going off to what's going on with you, right? It was kind of a crazy thing because, you don't hear all those stories because a lot of people keep quiet with those stories and stuff like that. But you were one of the people that really was like, this changed my life. I got, it gave me some freedom there. And then I know, with all the stuff going on in your personal life and stuff, you've helped the whole situation out,
Oh yeah. It was a total game changer, Hex, it's just Hex turned around my whole life kind of in its own way. Amazing, right?
So I got to ask you, man, is Hex dead? Is it over?
Ooh, it's not over. It's not dead. It might be hibernating. It might be sleeping. Yeah. It's definitely, winter or crypto winter. Yeah. It's it's not the good times. This reminds me, it's kind of like 2000, like
early 2020.
I don't know.
Yeah,
like the 19s. Yeah, but I feel like there's a lot more like whining and crying on Twitter nowadays. I see a lot more versus years ago. I feel like maybe there weren't that many people involved, but I didn't hear that much chatter. It seemed to get quiet, and now it's just like grief. It's just like, it just feels bad to be online. It's like, oh my, So I've never seen it quite like this before.
Yeah, I mean, the community is much larger. It was a smaller community back then, of course, right? Way less people and stuff. It's much less people, and also we were all kind of like technologically dumb at the time as well. We didn't really use Twitter. I mean, we were using Twitter, but not really to the same effect. We didn't have the big community at the time. We were barely YouTubing at all. I mean, a lot of times we were live streaming to like 25 people sometimes, like especially early on, it was like 25 people, if that, especially in the beginning and stuff. Like we ever cracked over like 40 or 50. We're like, damn, this is a big stream. Like, dang, we have some numbers here. We're doing numbers, but the community was just much smaller. And now, as well as, like, I think a lot of people did make gains, and I think probably a lot of people reinvested those gains back, trying to catch another multiple or something. That's kind of why. And then people over leverage themselves into Pulsechain and PulseX and the sacrifices and stuff. But this is something I told my students, and I feel like a lot of them didn't even believe me, really. But like I said, this VC mindset, which was like, that if you ever get the opportunity to be like an accredited investor and you invest into a project, it takes like most of the times you don't start even seeing any returns if there's any at all for 2 years, 2 to 3 years. So usually it takes 2 years to get the project out. Then and I'm talking crypto project. I'm not even talking equity. Like crypto project, it comes out. It takes about 2 years for the coin to come out, and then you have a 1 year to 2 year vesting schedule where you're getting some basically dividend payments or coin distributions for the next 2 years and stuff. So so I was like, that's how we have to look at these SACs as like for that. Or obviously there's SACs nowadays happening where like it's supposed to come out in the next 2-3 months or less. That's different. But for like these major ones, they're pretty much like it was a 2 to 3 year wait. So we're right on time. Like I think you were saying that 2 years is about what we waited for Hex. Same thing for what's called Pulsechain and PulseX, and it still wasn't perfect as well. Day 33 passed obviously for Hex. That was the low right there. I think it's gonna be a little different for Pulsechain and PulseX, right? But some people say day 50 or whatever. I mean, it's all guesstimations basically. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, my personal guesstimation is it's probably going to be longer than all the others because everybody's talking about it and we're all expecting it. So therefore, it has to be longer now, right? Because the market usually doesn't do what everybody wants or thinks. It kind of, the market messes with everybody, right? So, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and there's also still projects that people stack for that haven't launched yet, which is as well. So there's all that stuff coming out. So there's a lot of the liquid loans, the Mintras, Power Cities. Yes. There's a lot of other projects I'm not going to mention by name, but like tons of other projects as well that haven't launched that did get major sacks. And on top of that, too, well, I guess the one thing I could say about maybe it's kind of looking like the market might start turning back up as long as we have the Fed pausing as long as we don't get the raise in the next month or so on the 26th. But we kind of are in this period where it looks like we're pretty much like not going to have any Fed rate increases for the next like 2 months, which is really nice. So that we can have a hot boy summer or early fall, and then I think we get hit in the face again, pretty hard with the hot shovel.
Ooh, well, they bring it up to because I remember you saying recently that you're expecting in September, October that they're gonna maybe bump it up again. Yeah,
two more times. And there's one person that like I do like anytime he does say something, I have to like lend credit to it. Like George Gammon had said like he thinks it's actually a farce that we're not increasing rates anymore. But if that is the case, what's called Jerome Powell has said that they're basically going to keep rates at where they're at well into like next year, basically. So I expect the high rates to last up until something about like the halvening around there. So something about like early Q2, we'll start getting rates dropping. We should get 100 basis points. So this is the first time where like crypto's this freaking big and we're lowering rates now. Like we're basically going to get like 200 basis points of rate drops, 24 and then 25. So we should be in the low threes basically by like end of 25. So it's one of the only times I'm kind of thinking like it actually can we might like it's a really weird I don't want to say super cycle, more like extended cycle. Like we might have like Bitcoin and Ethereum might have topped out already, but like the alts are still like chugging along basically into 25, because if they keep lowering rates, it's like, so why would we crash? Things are getting cheaper to borrow money. And borrow, it's really weird. And whatever president ends up winning, they're going to be passing all these stimulus packages and shit and everything like that to like because we've been in a recession since the middle of last year, even though they don't want to admit that. Like the White House has changed how they report a recession, which is crazy to me.
Yeah, well, that was the only way they could actually make it so we weren't in one, right? Change the rules, change
the definitions, right?
Oh yeah.
But so that's you and Hex, right? And obviously, in terms of a hexagon, right? I'm gonna, like, Hex Jesus is about to put you to the seminar right now, right? But like so as a hexagon, right? Were you a guy that did ladders? Were you all like a guy that wanted everyone staked out? Did you want liquid and then staked, or what was your strategy during the Hex times?
Yeah, so it was a ladder. It was a strong ladder. That's really what it was. It was every 6 months, pretty much, for almost forever, right? I've got stakes coming out every 6 months, like clockwork. And then you just keep rolling them, see where it's at. Like right now with these ones, if I got one that comes out during these times, 5555, blast it out. Because why am I going to sell? I'm not selling at these prices, that's for sure. I've seen it 50 times higher, so I'm waiting till I see that again. So let it ride. Yep.
Some people will say, and like this is kind of why, like, I kind of like, it's kind of funny to me. I mean, like Richard just today tweeted like, hey, Amazon's dropped 95% down, and then they did all these gains and stuff like come on, you guys. Like, come on, you guys. Like we've been on this rodeo before, right? But it's like, I feel like there's a lot of people in the Hex community. I mean, we just had today, like, shout out to Crypto Coffee. He says he's getting so tired of these fucking drama queens in the Telegram chats. There's a lot of people in Telegram chats just talking a lot of shit, and it's getting pathetic now. It really is, just because you have a big bag of another coin. Like, and I'm a shit coiner through. I mean, I got shit on in the Hex community for being like, how dare you not be a Hex maximalist, right? Like, how fucking dare you, right? But now it's like, I don't mind people having multiple coins and stuff like that, but let's like keep the eye on the prize. We want to stack the main tokens, right?
Kudos to you. I want to give you a shout out because I've always respected you for that. You've always talked about whatever coins you wanted and whatever you wanted and did your thing. And I like that. I respect that.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah. A lot of people are afraid not to. Even myself, I've talked about coins that didn't do so well and it was not a good time. And that shit happens,
Yeah.
So it's okay.
Yeah.
You know, now even myself personally, I'm definitely more conservative in what I will talk about and what I won't talk about, because I know people they'll do whatever you say, right? Like if we're not here on YouTube, like if we say don't go to this website, don't do this, oh, they'll do it. Like they're doing it right now. Like we just said it. We told them not to type it in, and they are typing it in as soon as we're done saying it. So I understand that, right?
Epstein didn't kill himself.
We're just stating facts here.
Yeah. But just kind of based off that, right? Like let's just be real. Like everyone wants to grow their bags. They're trying to take shots and stuff. I understand, right? And especially now, it's kind of more okay to be in a token, especially if it's in the Pulsechain ecosystem, right? But at the same time, I also have to respect guys that are a little more on the maximalist side, right? That are like, shout out to RH Max or like Westcott as well. Like I'm gonna be touching Richard Hart product. Totally okay. That's totally okay. You can stay on the path. That's beautiful.
Smart.
And I want to shout out Wales Only as well. He's like the only guy out here talking about hex staking anymore. It seems like everyone's completely. That's like. like all the this kind of why I did like a Island Boy stream. It was kind of fun. Like I did a stream a while back and stuff. That was just mostly I was talking about people, not just Puerto Rican, the guys in Puerto Rico. There was a couple of specific people out in like Europe and a couple other places I saw them that they were kind of launching, like it looked like to me like they were launching like it looked like a toucanaire bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like that sort of stuff. And so I was. But I didn't want to give them any names and stuff. I haven't seen it around now, so maybe it didn't happen. But thank God. But it was just that sort of thing, like we've kind of entered a weird, like everybody and their mom, right, was like a diehard Hexican in the community. Buy Hex, stake it out, 555, Quattro Cinco, baby, 10-year stakes and stuff like that. And like I have no stakes under 7 years. I've got nothing under 7 years, right? And then everyone went transgender, like straight. Like there's no staking anymore. There's like there's no more ladders anymore. It's just like they're like Miguel. Secretly, I'm buying eHex right now. What? Don't say that out loud. Shut the fuck up. Don't say that out loud. Shh. Better. Shh. Don't say that. No. I'm just buying Pulsechain and whatever the new hot shit coin of the week is.
Oh man,
and that's what's happened. Shout out to Wales, man. Wales still talking about staking. There's like fucking nobody talking about staking anymore at all, right? And I kind of at the same time, I don't see that many people talking about validating as well. That's one of the reasons I do see it here and there, but like because there's a little bit more of a instead of just like it being a couple button clicks, it's a little bit more. You have to have specific hardware unless you're running a good rig at home and stuff. But it's a little more difficult to do so and stuff. So. I guess going from there, right? We went from like that to like we had one token. Now we have 5 effectively. We're going to have 6 eventually. The gauntlet somewhere in the back of me, but multiple coins, right? And now we have this other part of ecosystems of like these hex friendly coins, like these holy trinities, right? And then we also have these dark triads as well. These kind of really bad shit coins that are on the network and stuff. Shout out, we have a lot of these other fucking coins on here, right? Yeah. And it seems like, and I kind of get why on both sides, right? We have both of these, like we have the maximalists in the middle there, and then we have like the holy trinities, and then we got the guys in the down there, right? But a lot of these coins are kind of just not vampiring, but like they're not really bringing new people to the ecosystem. It's kind of like just recycling the same money between.
It's a leverage play. It's a fight between those guys in that pool, right? Like it's like me and the players of this little side game. Like we're going to steal each other's pulse, and whoever walks out of that gets the most pulse out of that group, and then we get to go do whatever. Yeah,
right. Versus like, I've always tried to just stick to my own thing. Just try. That's why So I saw that from the beginning. I was just like, because eventually I left Discord Syndicate, and I was like, well, how can I help the community out? I was like, let me bring people into crypto, because that's the hardest thing to do, and then bring people into the ecosystem of their own free will. No, like you have to get into this now. No. Like I never believed in that whole like being Jehovah Witness. Open up, FBI. Like like knocking on the door is like, have you heard about my Lord and Savior Richard Hart? No, it's more of like this is a cool opportunity. If you like to get into it, cool. If not, hey, it's all you, brother. And you attract more people with honey than you do vinegar, but it's just like That's why I'm a little pissed off. Is they're all focusing their efforts on like multiplying shit coinery and stuff and everything in their ecosystems, and they're not really onboarding anybody from the outside at all.
Yeah, correct. That's exactly what's happening. There's no fresh money coming in. It's just a game in a circle, like musical chairs. That's exactly what's happening. Yep.
Right.
Yeah. You know, and yeah, shout out to you again for actually having like a boot camp and like training people. And you have people who want to come to you to learn kind of the unwritten rules of crypto, right? And then you teach them and then you prepare them for all the kind of stuff they're going to see at the big casino, because that's what it is. It's like all these little musical chair games. It's like we just walked into Vegas and it's like, the lights are dinging and there's all this website over here. You can go play this game over here. And yeah, if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to get wrecked real quick.
Yeah. But it is like gambling, but it also at the same time, it isn't like gambling where where the house has a complete edge. You as a person have an edge. The longer you stay, well, I'm not going to say anything. Normally, the longer you stay, you win. You win over, it's like eventually you get the nut, right? But like, in this, like you can actually play the game and you can actually be the house in some projects, but in other you can actually, there's a big edge. There's a big edge because this coin's down 90-80%, Ethereum's down 90-80%. Wouldn't I buy, like Ethereum? We did a show the other day. Ethereum's $1,800 right now. Its all-time high is $5,100 or $4,800 depending on the exchange. How the fuck is it not going to do a 2x? How? Right. It's probably doing a 3x. But let's just say it did a 2x. So you're telling me like I can just DCA as long as it's under $3,000 into Ethereum, just close my eyes and just DCA, stop DCAing. A year later, sell it for $10,000. Yeah, basically, It's where else can you in about a year and a half make 5 to 6 times on your money? And that is like the baseline return for all of crypto. Bitcoin and Ethereum basically move like this with each other. It's like very so you could even split in half Bitcoin and Ethereum like that, right? It's just the amount of gains you can make on these coins is on those coins. Imagine extrapolate that to a very popular L1 with the most amount of YouTubers.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Exactly. That's how it works. Yep.
But tell me why everyone's fighting everybody to sell. It's all over, bro. Pulse Hex is dead. Pulsechain's dead. Hex is dead. Hex is. It's all over, bro. Just sell, bro.
They're scared. The plebs are scared. That's all. But
it's not just the plebs. It's other people scaring other. It's like that's. I don't mind if everyone's scared privately. I get it. But then it's like I get like people are stirring the pot, trying to get everyone to dump.
Creating sell pressure.
Yeah. Because they want, I know what they want, right?
Yeah, I don't hate that either, though. That's kind of funny. It's part of the game. Yeah,
these guys, I don't give no fuck. I'm a Super Saiyan.
Scare them, dude. Yeah, man. Yeah, you got to get. Yeah, we're gonna scare the crap out of you. You're gonna give up your coins because you lost all your money. Oh, and then you're gonna lock in those losses. Sorry, like that's how the rest of us are gonna get rich. That's part of the game.
Right.
Yeah.
So then, Pulsechain comes out, right? And there's a thing called validating. Can you explain a little bit of what is it to be a validator?
Yeah, sure. So, Pulsechain is just a fork of Ethereum, basically, right? So Ethereum is proof of stake. They have validators. You lock up your ETH, and then you get a little computer, and then you're mining the blocks. Pulsechain does the same thing. We have validators. And for Pulsechain, the rules are you need 32 million pulse. Yep. Which I think is like $3,000 today.
A little under.
Wow.
Sheesh, nice. You guys.
Yeah, sheesh. Wow. Okay. So a little under $3,000 gets you like one stake, 32 million pulse.
Yeah.
And then you take a computer and you do some nerd magic. And then you basically are staking your pulse. And then it prints. Now, one stake right now on the low end, this is conservative, it'll make about 10,000 pulse a day, which is like $1.
So basically 32 million Pulsechain that's staked inside a validator on a computer, good internet connection, and running a script and everything like that in the background on Linux or something like that.
Yep.
Will make you 10,000 Pulsechain a day.
Correct.
On average.
On average, give or take. Yep. And that's a little conservative. Right now it's a little higher, but that's like the target is 10,000 a day.
Gotcha. And then right now we're almost at 21,000 validators, correct?
Yes, we're about to hit 21,000. Yep.
Sheesh. So we were kind of like, because the good thing, the thing we want to create sometimes is like, you want to create narratives, right? I mean, narratives are important, right? I mean, some people hate narratives. It's all about chart, but you do need something to rally the troops around, or at least like say something so it actually like, it's a little more digestible. There we go. A little more digestible, right? So one thing me and David were kind of talking about in the background, right? We were saying like, you know, one validator node has basically become the new T-share. Yeah.
Yes. Yep. I call it a Pulsechain Stake.
Pulsechain
staking.
Stake. Yeah. It's
staking 32 million. Yeah, that's like a Pulsechain T-share. Yep.
Yeah. Well, and now here's the debate: is it 1 T-share, 10 T-shares? I don't know. I don't know. It's probably 1 T-share, but like, you know, well, I don't know. Maybe we'll see. Someone will run the math. Someone will run the math.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think they have those, you know, the Ocean League rankings like they have for Hex.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah, they've got them for Pulsechain, and I think a dolphin is about $1 billion.
Yeah, $1 billion.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
$1 billion change. Yeah.
1.4.
And that's
billion.
like, that's the perfect level for a validator. If you are a dolphin, or even just under a dolphin, if you're a high level squid or higher, then you should be validating, because you just make more money every day. Like you'll be instantly in profit, even with cost of buying the hardware or renting a cloud computer.
Right.
Yeah, you'll be making money.
So let's talk about someone that does have, let's just say 1.2 billion or something, you know, whatever, to make the round number of validators, right? Like, and this man's doing the math. You see, we're live, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
Hey, so I'll hit a Pepe while we're waiting this man to do the math on $1 billion.
Didn't have to cut me off. Think I like it never happened, that we were nothing. I don't even need your love, but you treat me like a stranger, and I feel so loved. No, you didn't have to stoop so low. Have your friends collect your records and then change your number. I said I don't need that though. Now you're just somebody that I used to know. Now you're just somebody that I used to know. Now you're just somebody that I used to know.
There we go. A little Pepe for everybody.
I love the Pepe, man. Love it.
I was rocking it before it was hot. I just want to say.
Absolutely, you made it hot. Oh yeah, you got the best intros, man. Cracks me up every time.
So I'm working on some new. I can't say too much, but we're working on some new stuff right now. But I can't wait. So okay, so let's just say as an example, someone like was able, like, had $1 billion or 1.2 billion, whatever, to make the amount of validators. So what's kind of the math on that?
Yeah. So let's go.
And that's a dolphin, and that's a dolphin in Pulsechain as an example. Yeah.
Yeah, correct. That's a dolphin size. Yep. Which is like 0.01% of the whole supply, I think, of the coins. Yeah. Yep. So if you had 1 billion Pulse, you could do 31 stakes.
Right. Have 32 million Pulsechain each. Right.
Yeah. Yep. And then you'll have leftover for gas. You'll have like a couple million Pulse left over for gas, which is perfect. And then basically those are going to print you $1 a day each. So every day you'll make $31.
Okay. At current prices.
At today's price, yeah. At today's price, with today's amount of validators, at about 21,000 validators, yeah.
Got you. Now, I mean, in terms of projections of where we think I mean, I would imagine we're probably at some point going to head towards, because right now I think I did the math. I'm not sure if that's correct and stuff, because I think the total, excluding OA coins and stuff like that, I think we're at like 14 billion and some change in terms of like the community supply of what's really circulating out there for Pulsechain. Trillion. So right now that would mean like we're at I think I ran the math the other day. I was like, no, this can't be right. It was like 666 billion is staked right now. Pretty devilish. Again, let's get a couple more validators in there, change that number up. But so effectively we're like at 4.2% of the total of the total supply of like community Pulsechain that's staked right now, right? So obviously I think that'll probably head towards 10% at some point, I'd imagine.
Yeah, it's gotta, right? Because if you look at Ethereum right now, those dudes are at like 600,000 validators, and you need 32 ETH. So that's like, 60 grand or 50 grand. Yeah. So if they can do that, if they can get 500,000, then how many can we get at only 3 grand each? Like $1 million, right? So I think in time, the number of validators for Pulsechain should go way, way up. I hope so. We'll see.
And you guys will I'll have a Q&A section and stuff where we're going to have obviously I'm going to read all the super chats, of course, right? But we'll ask all the questions you want. What happens if I turn the power off? What if I kick one of those giant, like, go back to David for a second. Imagine I kick one of those giant things behind David.
The rack.
Drop kick the rack. Just drop kick the rack.
There's like 100 clients in the rack, man. One rack holds so many servers. Took off half the pulse chain, dude. Like,
dude, I'm sorry, your Pornhub's out of here, you guys. It's done.
I just paid for premium.
Fuck. No, so okay, so I mean that's a pretty decent amount, right? Like $32, right? And today's market, at the bottom of the market, everyone's sad. It's all over and stuff. I mean, worst case, so that means probably we get 50% more down at worst case, right? I mean, we're pretty close. I think we're pretty close to the bottom. We're like outside of like new. I mean, it's got to be a black swan event or something. But then the whole crypto space is down, so you can't cry that it's Pulse's fault. It's really like the macro, right? But worst case, we're probably 50% more down at most. So that'd be like what, $16, $18 would probably be the low on that. And then like, fuck this shit, I don't want to validate anymore. So maybe you make a little more.
And then your cost would only be half too, though. If the price goes down in half, then the validator is only $1,500 each.
Right.
So it's all relative. That's what's nice about validating with Pulse is like that 17% we're getting right now.
Yeah.
That's like locked in, like that's guaranteed in Pulse, regardless of what the price does.
Right.
So this, for folks who have a lot of Pulse already, or for folks who have a lot of money and they want to get 15% per year, validating on Pulse Chain is a viable option. You know?
Right. Now this is such a great question, just because I keep seeing it all the time. And I've seen this on Twitter like over the last 2 months, 2.5 months, really. It's been said a lot. And so especially when like the incentive token yields really started kicking up and stuff. So, okay. But David, the incentive yield pays more on that in volume than oh yeah, I said it right. I'm just trying to be really funny. Like,
it's hard to be
okay, wait, so yeah, I was like, I had to really lower my IQ here. Okay, so David, I make much more money farming incentive token than I do validating. Why wouldn't I just incentive farm instead of validating?
Well, in the short term, you'll probably make more money with incentive token, but in the long term, you're probably going to lose to impermanent loss. And then the value of your coins is going to be less than if you just held. Yep.
Word's too big.
I'm sorry. You're speaking like I can't speak like I'm a simple farmer boy.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So I heard that same. Literally, somebody said that to me in a Twitter space last night. Like exactly what you just said.
Really?
That's exactly what they said. Yep. And it's like, yeah, for now, sure, yeah, PulseX farming is great, but that's validating on Pulse Chain is going to be better for longer in the long term. This is mining. I mean, we're mining coins, right? Yeah. We don't use graphics cards anymore. Now we just use a tiny little Intel NUC, and you just put it on your shelf and off you go. Like that's
it. Yeah. So I'll give my case for I'm not like I actually think the validating long term is right. Now, of course, there's always, if you do some quick action, you can make way more money. Of course, short term, of course, right? But if the incentive token continues to slide down, I think right now, what's the incentive token at? Let me look. It is currently at $8, soon heading to 25 cents. But no. Well, I mean, if they don't launch any incentives, but if they don't launch any if they don't launch any fundamentals with it at some point, or some use cases or my biggest thing that I think at some point Richard may end up doing the sacrifice for the wallet at some point, and it would probably make sense to give like a 2x multiplier to the incentive token to burn supply away in order to keep the yields high on the I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being too dumb. Maybe I'm just dumb. I
like that. That's a big brain move. That would be really cool. Game mechanics. Economics.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
You accept all stables. You accept stables and stuff like that. But Pulse Chain and all, or maybe it would just be better if you just did all the RH coins. That's it, and plus an extra bonus to incentive token. That's it. Or maybe he gives like 50% bonus to Pulse Chain and Pulsex and stuff, and then he gives like, base for dollars and then a 2x for the incentive token. This could burn a ton of incentive token away, and now this draws out the supply, and then you can get big price pumps on the incentive token, and then that can hold yields up for longer, and then it's looking real nice. And then you have this nice graph chart of like how much income you can get off the, you know, hey, whatever. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. You know, I'm just I'm a dumbass, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
You know,
should be in charge of all of the Pulsex farms from now on, right? Whoever the dev is on Pulsex is fired, and you're in charge of Pulsex.
All right. As the new chairman of Yield and stuff on Pulsex and stuff, I'm increasing WBTC yield. No, yes. That's such an inside joke on this stuff.
Yeah. Talk about a rug. Oh my god, that was a good one.
But so basically, I mean, impermanent loss is a real thing and stuff. It's one thing if you yielded it off of like Pulsechain, Pulsex, you know, that pool there, and then you just decided to take your yield farm, sell half of it for Pulsechain, and then decide it like. If you've yielded safely and you've made some money, and then you've decided to take some like half your yield incentive and then just provide liquidity into like the yield pools for incentive and another pair, and then you're doing that, hey, that's W. But if you've yield farm and you've lost money and then you're just really trying to make it back, because there's something I was telling my students is to sell off the incentive token like this entire time, and so outside of like I always wait for the initial pump and then start selling it off, right? Obviously, right? And put it back into Pulsechain, hopefully, or they put it into stables or wrapped Ethereum or something like that, right?
Good. Yeah. Don't be a dum-dum like me. You know what I'm doing? It's because I've never tried it before. It's my first time at the farm, so I dedicated a small portion of my PulseX bag versus incentive token in that farm, and then every 24 hours I harvest my incentive, and then I put it back into liquidity and crack off more Pulsex, and I just keep feeding the vending machine every 24 hours.
Got it.
And I'm compounding my ink. But yeah, like the prices of both Pulsex and ink keep going down and down and down. So like the total value locked is just draining.
David's about to be the biggest Richard Hart wallet holder.
So what I'm in my mind though, I've accepted the fact that ink and that Pulsex, I don't care if either one of them goes up and I sell out of the other automatically. I will accept whatever I get in the end, and I just let it ride, right? I consider that like a stake. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, hey, the important part is it's a percentage.
Yeah,
there's people,
small percentage.
You won't believe the amount of people that have told me like I'm yield, especially when the yield farms are brand new. Miguel, I did everything. What?
Oh my god, the whole bag in the farm.
Because Miguel, I've done the math. The math is the math. Like the math is the math, bro. Math is math, right? The math is math, bro. You understand how much daily income I'm making, bro? You don't understand. No, David, shh. No, you don't understand. Like how much I make. I'm making $15,000 a day. I'm making $2 a day, bro. This won't fade, bro. This won't fade. Bro. The ink token only goes up. Only goes up.
48 hours later.
Yep. And it's gone. Well, no, that's
not gone. No, it's not gone.
No, that's not true. No, but it's not. The ink token topped out at $80, and now it's at $8.
Yeah.
So, and then I remember a couple days before it was at $6. So it went from 6 to 80, back down to 8. Like it's crazy volatility. This is, you got to have a strong stomach for this stuff. Right. It's no joke.
But I will say this though, like normally, because I've yield farmed quite a lot of projects over the years. And especially in GameFi and other places and stuff, where like when tokens launch with this, because I know tokens that have the same tokenomics as incentive token, right? The same thing. Like they would launch from like 0 to like, let's just say $38, $40, very close to like the top, like, and then would crash 25 cents, 14 cents. Some of these tokens right now are like, they're like 17, 18 cents right now from like a high of 40. So even if you twiced it up, that would put, the incentive token probably not now, but in like 2-3 months should have been probably like $1.50 and some change, right? But because a lot of hex games are much more hardcore, they believe they're staking, they're yield farming, and like it's being taken care of much more than those tokens are. Like it can still be much. That's why I said like it could be $5, $3, and like it can maintain that. Now that's with no fundamentals. We've seen how Richard has like anytime so Richard won't. Wait, I shouldn't say attack. Alleged. Like Richard won't do anything to you unless, like, if you're coming his wheelhouse, right? Like as an example, right, when like the e-fiat launch, right? Nothing happened because that's not competition, and it's something needed for the ecosystem, right? You do need a borrowing and lending place. That's perfectly fine. I think Famous, same thing. Ain't nothing gonna happen with that. Fucks. the best decks in the world, right? No, and I do like Flux, but as an example, right? He's like, Bar? Oh, you're coming into the Dex lane. Okay.
You're stepping into our block.
Into our block, man. And then so I've seen a little more retaliatorial sort of stuff happen with that, with like, hey, the airdrop's happening in like 2 hours. 1 hour later, like that I think Buck was saying, like, oh, all this stuff launched, and then literally the next minute, Richard basically goes like, hey, we've added matcha routing to like what the fuck where was these upgrades before, Richard? You know, so it's like I feel like, so I mean, I was kind of on my last course, I was saying to the guys like, Richard's probably got a lot of upgrades for Pulse X. I'm sorry, Pulse Chain's more like it has to be. We'd have to wait for a big Ethereum upgrade to have anything meaningful really for like Pulse Chain. Even though I think there is one on the way, but we probably won't enact it until next year. There's a possibility to like 8x. I mean, to make Pulsechain 8 times cheaper. There's an upgrade that we could get, and I'll tell you afterwards and stuff. But it's possible by next year. Pretty cool, really cool, right?
Yeah.
So, but anyway, just to go back to the other thing, right? Yeah. So it's like, so I mean, Richard has all these things in the cut ready to go for upgrades for PulseX and stuff, because PulseX basically launched with like pretty bare bones. I mean, I wouldn't say Uniswap level. I mean, like you can't. No one could be that bare. That's so bare bones. But like, but yeah. It effectively launched pretty bare bones. I mean, just V1, this and this, and that's it, right? And then the yield farm. But that was enough. Like you could simple swap. You couldn't really limit. You couldn't do limit trade. I mean, limit orders, and then you would be able to like yield farm. Everyone was happy, right?
Yeah, it was classic Uniswap version 2, just the way we all remember and like it. Yep.
Right, with a little pancake in there or stuff. Yeah. With the yield.
Yeah,
right.
Yep, which was new to a lot of us. Yeah, totally. Yes.
Yeah. So there's that. So obviously he launched with routing. Then from there he's been adding more and more. Then he's been claiming. I guess it's a claim, but I guess it's pretty true and stuff. He's like, because they've run the math on it. Yeah, like sometimes even if you're doing all these like special routings and stuff like that, if you just have more money in the pair, it just becomes more. It just becomes more effective and even with the fees and stuff like that. So, yeah. Anyway, it just is. I mean, it is what, like, I think Flux is a really good product, especially for stable coins. And because if you actually look at the pools that they're incentivizing right now, currently with votes and stuff, it's probably the best place to buy and sell Hedron and the Hedron tokens, the Maxi tokens, and I love
the Maxi pool.
Yeah, Maxi. I can't remember the other pool.
Yeah.
Probably Zen, I would imagine. Zen's probably going to be like incentivized somewhere in there, and then I cannot. Stable coins. That's what then stablecoin pool as well and stuff, because they want to be like a place where you can actually swap between stable coins and be really a great router and stuff like. They're kind of becoming like in my head, even though they're based off Balancer, they're kind of looking more a little like Curve to me right now. It's looking a little like Curve.
Well, because I was say the interface, I mean, is almost a 1-for-1 copy of Balancer. I mean, it really is.
It is Balancer, yeah. But it's just giving me like it's sort of like it's almost like Balancer mixed in with Curve a little bit and stuff, because there is incentives and stuff. I wouldn't be surprised. There's I won't say anything, but like there might be like a second layer. Who knows, right? But there's a lot of stuff going on there.
Shout out to phux.io. I actually am an enjoyer. Yeah, Fox.io. Yeah, like I love it. It's fantastic. I love the Maxi pool. I'm in there. And then you get Fux token as your reward. And then you can time block those. And then you get VFux, which let you vote. And then you get to go to the voting page and you vote on which pools get the extra APR of the Fux token. Yeah. So it's really cool. Like I think it's fantastic.
That was supposed to happen on PulseX. But there's all these things and upgrades and stuff that should have been on PulseX that haven't come out yet, because I think he's waiting in the cut. He's like, and he's like, it's sort of like he's just like he's doing enough to keep the hyenas at bay and stuff. Well, I would imagine that's how Richard feels about the hyenas at bay. But like he's keeping, like, we're supposed to have single site staking for incentive tokens, single site staking for PulseX, to make like X pool. Let's say that 5 times fast. These X pools, right? We're supposed to have single site staking. Then we're supposed to have voting we're supposed to have voting so we can have some, like, eventually there's supposed to be some voting mechanism for PulseX token in order to vote where the incentive to yield goes.
I thought we were supposed to have that at the beginning, day one. Where is it? Where is the voting button? Why is it gone? Like, very strange.
I think one thing Richard learned, and we learned, this is something like Charlie said and stuff like that a long time ago. Shout out to Charlie from Cultivate, but he had said that this isn't a shot at Hex, but it is kind of true, right? Is that when Hex launched, right? A finished product. Finished. Double kill. Finished, right? That means no news.
Yep.
That's bad. We're adrenaline junkies, crackhead and bonobo, chimpanzee, gorilla apes, right?
Sure.
We need that next hit. We need that next hit. And but we had big payday. Woo, big
Trickling down the
24-hour live stream with the Hexicans, right?
Awesome. That was a hell of a party, dude. I was there.
Yeah. Shout out to a hexologist. Yeah. So there's 24-hour live streams. There's all this stuff, and then a month after, we're like, woo, and then eventually, crickets.
Now what do we do, guys? What do we do with our lives now, guys?
And then
what?
Do you remember? Like we touched like 3 cents for a second, and then we went to a penny, and then we were like fractions of a penny, and then we went back to a penny, and we were just like, dude. And then this is where like Richard started saying, like, he talked about, hey guys, I'm thinking about making my own Ethereum. Holy shit! Blah, blah, blah. And there's gonna be a sacrifice phase. Holy, Hex launched because that was news. That wasn't about Hex, but it was the ecosystem. Right, so you had these news events. So so that was really, I think, the lesson that Richard learned was like, yeah, we need. So obviously, like Pulsechain's not a finished product. Neither is PulseX. Hex, eHex, pHex, finished products. So you have to have these consistent little news things. So imagine we're in a bull market, and then it's like, I ain't fucking leaving. Single side staking just launched. Ah! Everyone's like, oh my god, this shit's incredible. Ah! Volatility.
Oh man, wow, that's another level. Like to just drip feed the community and the upgrades. I didn't even think about that. That wasn't even on my radar.
It's a good marketing strategy.
That's the market. It's a marketing strategy. I mean, like Richard's played this like 5D, 4D chess, right? I mean, now some people. I mean, this you have to let. Like I agree. Like you have to let people bleed out and stuff like that. Maybe I'm a bit of a pussy. What the fuck? Maybe like I'm being too nice here. It's like maybe I should just let everyone bleed. Just like fuck it. You're right. Sell. Go.
Gone with the wind.
Gone with the wind, right? Like bleed out, bros. Whatever.
Some have to. Some
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I'm just trying. It's like I'm trying to save the plebs, and I'm sorry. Like it's like fuck.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I know how you feel because I try to save people who want to validate but like can't do it themselves. You know, like don't have the technical skill or the nerd craft. But like I've got it, so yeah, I want to help them do it because everybody should be a Pulse validator if they want to and they got the Pulse. Right. You know, we should be like it. This is an open blockchain. We don't censor. Everybody can join. Everybody can do it. That's good.
Right. So at what point? So just to get back to validating, right? So at what point is it just doesn't like? Obviously, I think anyone could be a validator if they really want to, just because they want to be a validator because it's cool to support the network.
Yep.
Now, there's that. Then there's not as a business, but like I want to make some money. You know.
Yeah, you want to be in the green immediately, right?
What size do you have to be a validator, right? And this is right now at the this is about as cheap, maybe 25-30% cheaper it can get. That's about it. Like what level of validator do you have to be? Like how many validators do you need to like kind of like where you're just break even to like you're making some profit?
Yep. So basically, if you're gonna, let's take the cloud version, right? Because that's a monthly cost.
Okay.
So for $300 a month, you can rent a cloud computer for the validating. So that's $300 a month. You need 10 validators or 10 stakes. So 320 million pulse just to break even. Because that'll print you $300 a month. So every stake you can do over 10, that's profit. And it's $1 a day of profit for every stake you have over 10.
Right.
So if you can get 11, that's good. That's $30 a month profit. 12 is 60, 13 is 90, and it compounds. It's, every stake you add, it's 30 extra bucks a month you can make. And the goal is to get as many as you can.
The new T-shares, right? That's kind of why I want to like almost like it seems like wrong to say like one validator is one T-share because I think it is a little bit. It's more expensive. It's more expensive, right? So like maybe add a zero to it. Like it's like every validator is 10 T-shares or something like that. But basically to be in the game, you need 10 T-shares basically just to even have one validator, right? So like, let me just.
So we're 10 times cheaper than Ethereum.
Yeah.
Because they're like 50 grand or 60 grand. So we're 3. So it's like 20 times cheaper potentially. Yeah.
I'll literally show the math right here. Just give me 1 second. just because I like to, this is kind of why I like to break things down in like these little bite-sized chunks for people. Let me just turn the shadow mode. My God, or go blind. So share my screen for 1 second. So right now, to be a validator on Ethereum, it takes 32 Ethereum. That's $60,000. $60,000.
Yeah, for one.
For one.
And that only yields 4% a year.
Yeah. Now we got over here, right? This is for 10 validators. Like, let me just subtract one number. So right now it costs $3,000, give or take, right? $3,000, probably a little extra cost and stuff, but let's just call it $3,000 if you got the hardware already. Yep. To be a validator versus 60,000. It is 20 times cheaper. 20x cheaper and higher yield for Pulsechain.
Yeah. And like 3 times higher yield. Yeah.
Yeah.
So 20 times cheaper to buy, and it prints 3 times more money.
That's a 60x. That's a 60x.
Yeah.
That's a 60x. That's a 60x, you guys. Hit a Pepe for 60x. Woo! I like the maths. I like the maths. Good. I like the math.
Mm-hmm. Me too. Very much so. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Now, 20% of my portfolio is always into shitcoinery. Of course. And I yield farm on some stuff. I do this and that. I'm in GameFi. I'm on a lot of stuff, right? I like to do all that stuff. But I would consider this more in terms of like I'm passively staking my Pulsechain. That's what it is to me and stuff. And that's like I'm going to be a validator as well and stuff like that. But so basically, right? So basically, a 10 validators is where it gets profitable, right? So that's about 30K, give or take, right? 30K is still 2 times cheaper than Ethereum. Still 2 times cheaper, 3 times a yield. Still a 6x. Still a 6x.
Yeah, and that pays for the cloud hosting service, like the one I do, where I take care of all the work. Like I do the updates, I run the computer. You don't have to do anything. You could just kick back. If you want to do it even cheaper, you can buy your own computer and run it at your house, and then you have like 0 monthly costs. And then you're really in the profit.
Yeah, but it all depends on technological know-how as well as like that's what I like. Like David Feder's got something called the Validator Store. Great name, by the way. Shing.
Thanks.
Trademark. Shing. Shing. But like you have the Validator Store, right? And davidfeder.com. All the links are below in the bio. Go check out his store. But you give all the options in order for people to set up their own rig, tutorials and stuff, as well as take it to the level where I'm holding your hand through the whole thing as well and stuff, right? So go check out the website. And we'll probably check out the website in a minute later on in the stream and stuff like that. But that is the beautiful thing is like you can, it's choose your own adventure and how a DRY you want to get into it basically. Or like, no, I just want to buy the box done. Let's go. Me. But or like you want to go, no, I'm roughnecking it, bro. I'm taking this computer. Actually, it probably could run on this computer. This computer is ridiculous. That's why Brawley's on it. But
love it.
Yeah, Brawley's cool. I kind of let me get off track and stuff. Sorry, the ADD's kind of kicking in. Sorry.
and because you're right, like your laptop there with a 4 terabyte solid state hard drive.
Yep.
And like 32 or 64 gigabytes of RAM.
64.
Yeah, you could be a validator on that machine right there just fine, no problem. Yep.
Geeked out laptop.
Pretty much. Yep.
Did I overpay? Yes. Yeah, of course I did. Yeah, yes. Come on. Yeah.
But it's good. It's nice. Like that's high quality. So, and as far as the internet requirements, as long as you can like stream full high definition 1080p YouTube, you can validate. That's fast enough. You don't have to have the fanciest gigabit fiber and all that stuff, just like a regular cable internet.
Right.
But if you're offline, if you lose power in your house or your internet goes down, it's called leaking. And you, instead of earning money every couple minutes, you start losing pulse every couple minutes. It starts deducting from your wallet. or from your validator.
Yikes.
So something to keep in mind. Yeah. And I help people, like I do support calls too. And yeah, man, I mean, there's some people they're just like, they're offline for days because they don't know what they're doing and they're just losing pulse and losing money. I mean, and it's sad.
So let's just say, right? Let's just say I'm in Tropic Storm Maria, and I'm in Tropic Storm Marina. I mean, here in Vegas, right? Like thoughts everywhere, sand everywhere, right? And my internet goes down. I'm candlelit. I'm streaming from a BlackBerry. David, so how much am I losing a day? So what am I losing? What would you lose? Let's just say I'm just completely offline. I can't get to my validator and stuff. Help me.
Yeah, I think you lose like 5 or 10% more than what you would earn. So, for every stake, you're losing like $1.10 a day. So it's not bad. It's not brutal. It's not the end of the world. Right. For every day you're offline, it takes you a day to mine it all back, basically.
Right. No, you guys, I haven't missed the super chats. We are going to get the super chats when we get to the Q&A section. If you want your super chat read, make a super chat, and we will read them, you guys. David's not going anywhere. He's locked in right now. He can't get out of that server farm right now.
I've been here for months. They won't let me out. I know. And then Richard turned off his validator, so now it's just me, right? Like, I'm kidding.
He's like, I run. Hey, he's not lying. Don't let him get away from that. So, okay, let's talk about that, right? So, in the beginning, right, there was Richard. Right, he was validating 4,000-ish validators. What's happened?
Yep. So yeah, in the beginning there was 4,096, and those were the Genesis validators. Like those are the holy ones, right? They were there in the beginning, like the Big Bang. They made the Big Bang basically,
right.
Like the fork from Ethereum. So when Richard did that, those 4,096 validators, he just invented the pulse out of them. He didn't like put it in. They just like click the button and there it was.
Right.
So that's how it started. So then that night when Richard's like, oh my God, we're live. Me and a bunch of my clients, and I was on like calls all night. We were setting up our validators and we were joining the network, and Richard's original servers were giving us the blockchain. And that was going on for days. More and more people were joining, and Richard is serving us the blockchain. And now we download it and now we share it. So now it's been a month, and now there was like over 20,000 validators. So Richard said, okay, everybody, there's enough validators out there in the world. I'm done. And he exited his validators, which shuts them down. And then all the pulse that he mined and all the original pulse that was inside of them went to a burn address, and it's gone now. So Richard's out. Richard's not validating. He's done. And now Pulsechain is 100% pure decentralized across the globe. And it's just people like me and all the other validators out there just running the computers. We did it.
So it's now community run completely.
Yeah. This is good for like security purposes too, because now Pulsechain is fully decentralized. Nobody's running it on some company server somewhere. Nice. It's over. We're free now. Yeah. You can't stop Pulsechain now. It cannot be shut off.
Oh, you hear that, Blockbuster? We're not running it on the server anymore. So those 4,000 now, okay, like I want to get the pros and cons of this a little bit, right? You think it would have been better if the validators stayed on? Obviously, I know why they were turned off. There's good reasons for them, Richard turning it off, and for it to be like, for the rest of the community to take over, right? But you think it would have been better for them to stayed on and just kept burning the supply they were creating and stuff, just because as a burn feature, or do you think it's just like it's just better that obviously all that supply, that's a lot of Pulsechain. I mean, that's a lot. 4,000. That's a lot of Pulsechain. So that's burned. Awesome. Less supply. But and it was also, but now there's more yield for everybody else as well, right? Like
it's a double-edged sword.
Yes,
because you got to trust the validators now. Because basically Richard gave up 20% of the validators, so he was getting 20% of all the yield. Well, now that extra 20% is going all to all the normal validators out there. And that's just people like me and you, and we're just normal plebs. So regular plebs have cabbage hands, so they sell. So yeah, it's that it is 20% extra pulse that's not being burned. So that kind of stinks. But if you're a validator, it's good. That means we all get more rewards. Ever since Richard turned off his, we've all gotten an increase in payout, which is awesome. And every validator I know, like literally everyone, and I know hundreds now, they're all restaking. We save all of our yields, like all of our pulse. You get paid out like every 3 hours. It just goes right into your MetaMask. When you have a validator liquid, you don't have to click a button. You don't have to claim nothing. It just magically shows up. Every validator I know is taking all of that and making more stakes and making more validators. So
more T-shares.
Yeah. No validator that I know is selling for profit or just trying to break even. Nobody. We're all staking.
Let's call them V shares. V shares.
I like that.
Yeah, let's call them V shares. There we go. Shing.
Yep.
Coined.
David Fetter now owns 50% of the patent.
I like it.
V shares, right? So everyone's just creating. That's really cool. And then you obviously are looking at the system. So most people are doing that and stuff. And I would do that same thing as well. Like because there is something like get them right now while they're cheap, right? Because it's like if it's
eventually once you won't be able to afford it. Once PulseX does a 10x, now it's not $3,000 for a V share. Yeah, Pulsechain. Yep. Sorry.
No,
Once it 10x's, now it's not $3,000 to do a Pulsechain stake. Now it's $30,000. Now it's half an Ethereum validator. That just reduces the amount of people that can do it. And let me tell you a lesson from like 2016. Dash used to be $7, and you needed 1,000 Dash to put in a master-node.
Right.
I didn't have $7,000. I was too poor. I was just, I was in my 20s. Like I was just a kid. Dash went to $1,000 each, so that master-node would have been $1 million. I should have just taken out a credit card. I should have done whatever I could to get that $7,000.
We can't say this, you guys. We can't.
I knew back then though. Like this is the story. Like this is the moral of the story. Is like I knew that something like that was going to happen, and I just didn't have the power to do it. And I learned from that lesson, and that's why now I'm, the number one Pulsechain validator. That's why this is my obsession now, because I learned from the past.
That's beautiful, right? Obviously, I am saying still have some liquid, of course, right? But let's.
Pulsechain staking is like almost liquid.
Yes.
When you want to exit, like you stake your Pulsechain, and then you're like, okay, I want it out. You run the command on the computer, and then there's a 24-hour cooldown, and then it just spits it right out into your MetaMask. So you can unstake in 24 hours whenever you want on Pulsechain as a validator. So it's not that bad.
But if multiple ones are, so obviously there's a certain amount you can have in a certain amount of time. But if you unlock a lot of validators, then you have a queue, right?
Correct. Yes. Only, I think it's 4 validators can exit every 5 minutes.
So let's just say I'm in a theater and I yell out and everyone in here can't get laid anymore if you're a validator. And everyone's like, and half the validators decide to unstake and stuff. I mean, that's probably not going to happen. But maybe not the whole sex part, maybe that part. But no, JK. No, but like, but saying in terms of like, let's just say, people are like get really down in the dumps and they do want to take out stuff. We could get an event where we have 20% of validators decide not to validate anymore, right? What would the queue? Yes. What would the queue be for that? And I know the queue eventually would get through, basically.
Yeah, and great analogy. Just like at the movie theater, if you shouted and now everybody's trying to run to the door, fire. Now everybody's jammed at the door and there's a stampede and they're stuck, right? Because only one person can go out the door at a time. So in Pulsechain, it's 4 validators every 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. So if 1,000 validators want to exit all at the same time, the queue can become days long. And now you're waiting. Right. So, and that's like when the price gets high, that's what's going to happen. So here's a little alpha. I predict in the future when Pulsechain price goes really high, like 10x, 20x, and then we're really cooking. Yeah, you're gonna start to see the line for validators to exit get longer and longer. Like they're queued up to exit. That's going to be a signal that we're, it's lofty prices.
So basically, when we start seeing the validator line get like the female restrooms in the club long, then it's like
party's almost over. Yeah. The party's getting good, right? Depends how you look at it, right?
So, because you're really only going to get those kind of queue lines at the top and at the bottom, basically, where people are flooding out or like, oh my God. And then what would be incredible is it keeps going higher, which would be nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Totally. So, people were asking me on a Twitter space last night, what's the risk of like whale validators pulling out like thousands of validators and dumping? It's a real risk. Like that could happen. Yeah, I mean, there's guys out there with like thousands of validators. Right. You can see on the graffiti wall on the beacon.pulsechain.com.
Yep.
And I've like there's a bunch of names on there, and they've got thousands of validators. And if any one of those guys wants to start dumping them all out, it's a lot of pulse.
So what's a big size for a validator? Like you have 1,000 validators, you're pretty gigantic, I'm guessing, because it's 20,000, right? So it's like what are like the top three in size right now?
If you're going by the graffiti wall,
yes.
So there's number one spot is actually validatorstore.com, right? It's me.
Who's that guy?
Clients.
Who's that guy? Right? David.
Oh yeah. So, but that's not just me. I don't have like 3,000 validators, guys. That's me plus all my clients plus everybody who's used my free scripts on GitLab. Okay. Right. So, I don't want any people like, don't come and wrench attack me or anything because, well, I'll blast you, but still like.
He's armed.
Yeah, I'm armed and I'm ready for you. So, but don't fool with me because those are my validators. All right. I'm just a freaking, I'm a shrimp. Okay, guys.
I'm glad that you're number one. That's beautiful. Like really is. You see, because like this is like this is kind of what I've said in the past. I wish there was like sort of like a referral bonus or just like a leaderboard of like onboards and shit. Just because it is nice to see who's who's making you're doing a really great thing, David. I really do truly you're really helping the community out. You're a great community member in the Hex community and the Pulsechain community because you legitimately are helping people use this thing and like helping it survive. And this is a very helpful thing and stuff inside the inside the ecosystem and stuff. Like it's not like this vampire bullshit attack or anything like that. You're generally creating value. Right. And that's what I really appreciate about you, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Because before crypto, I'm an IT guy, right? Yeah. Like I do computers for business. So this is just perfect. Now I do computers for validators and I can take care of them. I know exactly what to do. I've got all, I've been obsessed about this for 2 years now. So it's like perfect. I get to help people who can't do it themselves and it keeps the Pulse chain alive and we're making money. It's like a win-win-win. Everybody wins. Yeah. I love it.
Except for client services, goddamn. I know too. I'm starting to get. I have this dark hair, but I've gone quite a few dark hair, like not dark hairs, white hairs and gray hairs and stuff like that. Just from you're helping people out and starting up. It's
stressful. Yes, it's a lot of work, and doing any kind of service business is tough. And it's just me right now. I don't have any employees because I really wouldn't trust them with people's crypto or the possibility of abusing clients is too high. So I only trust myself, right? Because I'm a good guy, right? Like this is my business.
I don't know, David.
Job.
I don't know. Like
you said you're gonna blast us.
Yeah. You said something about wrench attack. I don't know. I mean, no.
Yeah, and I do get a lot of emails from people. To be honest, the majority of people who fill out my website don't actually reply to my initial email to sign up. Right?
Really?
They're like, yeah, like a lot. Yeah. And Hexicans, I know you see the name and the email come in, and I'm like, oh, hey, here's the next step. Let's get started, and they just don't answer. So, but there are some ballers out there, and there are some people who they sign right up. They're all in. We're doing the next day, we're setting up their cloud validator and they are getting paid within 16 hours later. And it's awesome. So
beautiful.
Shout out to all my loyal customers out there. There are some really great validators and great people out there that I've been working with and getting the opportunity to help.
That's cool as hell, man. Now, can I ask your options about internet providers and stuff? Because I'm guessing you get this question like an insane amount of times, right? So obviously there's a Cricket Network, and we have no. So obviously we got Boost Mobile. We got Boost. Yeah. No. So we have Verizon. And, no, I'm just checking. Okay, I need to stop with these jokes now. Okay, so we obviously we got Comcast. We have the one out here in Vegas is really horribly named. It's named Cox. COX.
Yeah, Cox. COX. Yeah, we've had that in my era forever. Yeah, they've been around for many decades.
Many decades. I would have changed the name to something else, really. But it was quite shocked when I came from California over here. I was like getting away from this very. I'm just gonna stop there. I'm just gonna keep going. So basically, we have Cox Network, and then there's other I guess you have Google Fiber for some places, and then other places actually have you have satellite internet and stuff. Something like. What's it called? Like Elon Musk's thing. What's it called? Starlink, right? So where would you rank some of these internet providers in terms of being useful and stuff? Because not everyone's going to go through cloud services. Some people might decide to, but it is nice to know what is the most reliable ones in your case.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. So, and it's funny you mentioned Starlink. I know one validator who's got like a mobile setup in a van with Starlink, and he validates on the road. He's literally mobile. It's so cool.
The last validator is just like, good
luck catching me.
They're not catching us. Pulsechain doesn't die ever.
He's the last man on earth.
We got to create this fucking anime of him, like, sure. Like, he's just the last guy out here validating Pulsechain, keeping it alive.
That's hysterical.
Oh,
That'd
my
be
God.
awesome.
Just Doom guys shooting
Just
down.
Doom like, brah, brah. Just him and David. That's the last one. Sorry. I'm just having fun.
Yep. So that's a real thing. Oh yeah, that's out there. So, so fiber, to answer it simply, fiber is the best.
Okay.
If you can get fiber internet wherever you are, awesome. That's generally the fastest and usually pretty cheap actually nowadays, because you can get it most cities, right?
Can you explain a little bit about fiber? Just because I know everyone's going to keep asking. Like, is fiber like Google Fiber? Is it a different type of fiber? Does every company, does internet providers just generally provide fiber as like an extra cost, or like what is it exactly?
Yeah, Google Fiber is a good one. That's just it's just fiber from Google, right? Mm-hmm. I think Xfinity Comcast has fiber. I think it depends where you live, right? This all depends on where you live, right? Depends on what's on your telephone poles outside your house or, your building. But any fiber provider, generally the best. That's what you want if you get fiber. And then the other one, then it's like a cable modem is fine. Like your Comcast, your Cox cable. Pay a little extra, get the fast internet. Don't get the cheap one. Spend $100 a month to get, as good as you can.
You're spending it on OnlyFans anyway. Get the good internet, you guys.
Exactly.
Good internet before OnlyFans, you guys. Please. Sorry. Go ahead.
So that's those are like the two primaries, right? Fiber and cable. 99% of the time, that's what you're going to get.
Got it.
Now, if you want to get fancy, this is coming soon. I haven't even done this. I'm working on this. Is cellular backup. So
like a hotspot, like a hotspot or something, or what?
Sorta, yeah. So they make a device where it's like it's kind of like a Wi-Fi router.
Okay.
And you put in a SIM card and you buy a cell phone plan, but then you plug that into your Wi-Fi router, your normal Wi-Fi router. And then, God forbid, the fiber or the cable line ever gets cut or you lose internet, this thing automatically fails over. And now your internet is using the cell phone towers just like a cell phone.
Like Wi-Fi calling, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But this is your internet. And the beauty of this is in the event of like a power outage,
right?
Cell phone towers have their own gasoline or diesel generators. So even if you lose cable or fiber, 99% of the time, you can still make a cell phone call. So that's why you can use cell phone as a backup internet for validating. So I'll be doing videos and tutorials on this soon.
Sheesh. Sick as hell. You see that? You hear that, man? Tropical Storm Maria, you ain't getting me.
Exactly.
That is really cool, dude. Like, David's a smart dude. That's what I'm saying. Like, backup. Dude, that van thing killed, bro. I was like, I got to do I was like van life or death. That's what. So okay, let's talk a little bit about Starlink and stuff. Like in terms of how you've used it. Obviously, if you're in a van, you're going to have to use it, right? Of course, right? But how reliable have you seen Starlink? And obviously, there's different levels to it because I know there's more of there's a commercial level, and then there's there's like a standalone like at the house version, and then there's like the mobile version you can put in a car or in a van and stuff, and then there's like the more commercial version. Like, what have you seen in terms of like how good they are, or is it not as good as like commercial internet?
So I don't have Starlink myself, but I have worked with people who do have it, and especially the one guy who had that validator set up. It was surprisingly fast. It was really good. It was almost as good as a cable modem, but anywhere. So I was shocked. It actually works.
But less than fiber.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely less than fiber.
Okay.
And kind of less than cable. Probably about the range of like a fast cell phone, which is pretty good. I mean, that's not bad. And you could be anywhere. Yeah. As long as you have clear vision to the sky, like it works. So it's actually really impressive.
Because that's what I've thought about using. And so just for that alone, just for the validator itself and stuff. But then, yeah, I mean, it's not.
There's one problem with it. There's one problem, and that's it's called the ping. And it's like the delay, because you have to send a beam from your house up to the satellite and then it goes to the internet. It is a little like slower. There is like a delay, right? It's got to do more hops, whereas the fiber is like real fast.
So you're saying the world's round?
Yes, the world is round. Yes, it is. It is a sphere.
This is the first thing we've disagreed on this whole stream. Wait, hold up. So you're saying satellites are real? I mean, because like that's a psyop there. No, I'm joking.
The Black Knight satellite that's watching us.
Dude, the Black Knight. Oh, that's a whole nother. That's another show.
They don't want to touch it, but all right.
I've heard of that.
So that's really interesting, right? Got it. Yeah. I mean, and Franklin's right? It's like that's a really good for people validating in areas where they don't have internet and stuff. So of course, if you don't, this is why I would bring it up, because I've had a lot of people ask me about Starlink and stuff, and it is something that's useful to have. I think especially around the road, or just to have that extra. It's kind of like a mobile hotspot sort of a way, because they have it's really cool and stuff. And then it's the reason, also one of the reasons why it's a good option, not for validating, just to have as an extra option to have internet when you're traveling around, is because I mean they're providing all the stuff for Ukraine right now, and obviously the Democrats won't take that down. So this is why they don't attack Elon. Elon's over here helping out the Ukrainians and stuff with their internet and stuff. So the lefties aren't attacking him right now. So Starlink, you can keep that.
And then he charges them.
Well, he should. He has
Look,
to.
It costs him nothing. The satellites are already up in orbit, so it's free to him.
Dave, shh.
Oops. Oh, was that the quiet part?
Yeah, that's the quiet part. Yeah. So once you've had these validators, they're just printing money. David, shush! Don't say it. No.
Yeah, right. I've had people say that to me. People are messaging me, telling me to stop what I'm doing because I'm making too many validators and the APY is going down too much. I've literally heard that.
Look,
and my answer is, I'm not going to stop. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean,
sorry, not sorry.
They like it in the beginning and then they hate you later. I mean, this always ends up happening where it doesn't like I got the same thing for onboarding people, and then eventually it's like I got hate for it as well. It's I guess you ain't doing nothing if you ain't got haters, I guess, right? I mean,
that's right.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, that's when it's true. That's when you've made it. Is when people start like calling you out and shit on Twitter and yelling at you and telling you to stop. Yeah, that's when you're succeeding. Yep, right. Feels good.
Let's jump off the validators for like 1 second. Sorry, guys. Let's jump off the validators for like 1 second, right? And let's talk about that a little bit, right? Which is basically that it's okay if you have your own, if this is what you believe in, that's how you invest. It's your money, right? And you are open to, like, Twitter's an open forum. You're allowed to say what you want to say, right? At the end of the day, right? So we might not like it, but it is what it is, right? So obviously you invest into multiple coins, or you're just not like the Richard Hart maximalist in just these tokens. You've also, you come from Dash and stuff like that, which is like, let me tell you this, like very few people were around at $7 Dash. I know that for a fact. Like, you were already pretty advanced even in shitcoinery already, especially back then, because I was pretty dumb. Like, I'll be very honest with you. Like, I really didn't really touch much altcoins until like, I'd say someone like, not August, maybe August or so of like 2017, when I decided to get on Binance and really start playing around with the altcoins and stuff there. But like, I kind of left it, like I mostly stuck to the big three, basically Litecoin, Bitcoin, and Ethereum at the time. But I knew people that were in Binance and all these other change OKX and stuff since like 2016 and stuff in 2017 and everything like that, right? So,
oh yeah,
can you talk a little bit about that, because we have people right now. I hate to bring Westcott up, but like Westcott is like, oh, RH coins only. I think we said it earlier today and stuff. And then, but other people are obviously calling him dumb or stupid or all these other things, because basically it's kind of like fighting their bags, I guess. Or how do you feel about what's going on in the drama right now in Pulsechain?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of drama going on. I'm torn. I'm a little torn, and it depends on what drama, right? Because even myself, I try to be an RH maxi as much as I can, right? I love Richard. He's awesome. Changed my life. I'm loyal to him. But I like to shitcoin too, man. I do too. Like, I can't help it. Like, I love this stuff. I was into Ethereum before Richard even liked it, man. I was losing ETH to like Veritasium and like Ether Roll.
Don't say that name.
I was on ETH. Before there was even Uniswap, there was a decentralized exchange called Ether Delta.
Yep, horrible
and
exchange.
It was a club. It was a centralized order limit book. So you had to place your buys and sells manually, and then other users had to click on it and fill them. Yeah. That sucks. And that fees were bad, and it was way too ahead of its time.
Yeah.
But like, I was getting wrecked on that stuff long ago, way back in the day. Like, so yeah, I can't help it, man. I love shitcoin, and I'll never stop. But I really try not to talk about it anymore. I really do. I don't, because I know people listen and they'll. Yeah. So I don't talk about my portfolio too much anymore, about my shitcoin dabblings. I really don't.
Yeah, I mean, I still have to because obviously I'll tell. I mean, people want to know and stuff like that, and but still, like, yeah, I'm also like not like I'm actively buying this coin right now at the like. No, I don't. Because then from like I try to tell this to people who are like, there's a lot of people now. This is their first cycle with groups, like their first cycle with like the big Telegram group or a course or Patreon, like whatever the group. It's basically all the same thing. It's a group of people, right? And you flick your pinky a little, your pinky tweaks, and then the whole arm goes like this, basically, right? So if you say like, oh, I like this coin, I'm DCAing, the whole community just heard, I fucking have to ape the entire portfolio into the coin, right? And that's not your intention, but that's kind of what happens sometimes. And it's not your fault. It's not anyone's fault, but it's like, but there's some people that literally are like crazy, but like they are like actively, it's like, you're buying this or this or this, no, you should be buying just this, all money, all. And then this is kind of why I got a little irritated with some Mexicans, because they changed their tune so quickly. Like their whole community, they locked other communities into staking and doing all this stuff. Like, I still believe in staking, I still believe in that, but I've always believed in having a large amount of liquid hex, right? Like, you should only make stakes you can afford to have, and then have a nice liquid bag so you could take advantage of opportunities. And some of these other guys were full on if you're not fully staked, or you're like 80% staked, you're stupid and stuff like that. And then now they're telling their users like, you guys are dumb. Why are you guys staking? Because you told me to, dude. You spent like 2 years fucking telling me to fucking stake my hex and do this and that. And now like you've done an about face and like I'm the stupid one. Like, bro, I was listening to your dumbass.
Yeah. And that's crazy. That's what you don't want, because it's tough with the staking, right? Because if you learned from the past in crypto, right, you want to hold for as long as you can. So staking prevents you from selling from your own weak cabbage hands. Right. So in that regard, it's good. But if you were staked back when Hex was at 54 cents, you missed the last top. That sucks. So it's a double-edged sword. You should be partially staked and partially liquid. Yeah. There should be some, and my rule of thumb is real simple. When the price goes real high, like, I always sell some, but I never sell all.
Right.
Right. Like, you always have a moon bag, but you definitely got to take profits when it's going up, for sure. And when it's going down, hope you have dry powder so you can dollar cost average in. Right. Yeah. Right. That's all. Keep it simple.
Yeah, and and I'm not talking about whales only in a negative way. No, that's not who I'm talking about. Like, whales only still talking about staking. Like, there's people out here that taking like, there's a reason I made the whole like, wait, let me, how much are we in this? We're 82 minutes in. Okay, I guess I won't get demonetized if like Transformers, right? I'll say that right there, right? Transformers, right? I was making all these the transgender jokes and stuff, like doing those jokes and stuff because of the about faces, but yeah, it is what it is, right? But Franklin's right. Like, all that matters in crypto is narratives, a bit in the chart setups and stuff like that. It's a yang. Like, I love like obviously I'm a macro guy and a narrative guy and stuff like news guy and stuff like that. And then there's the other side, which is the chart side and stuff. Charlie, that's why we're yin and yang, and it works so well, right, for what we do, right? But it is always like a dog chasing its tail. Like, is it the dog that wagged the tail or the tail that wagged the dog, right? A lot of the times. And a lot of times it is just the chart patterns, but sometimes it is actually like the news event, because you can literally see it. Like, the minute the news drops, the chart if I would just tell you, like, if that was secret, like, it might not happen in the chart, or a very small movie that you wouldn't notice. And then how did this happen, right? Like, but this is the classic kind of yin yang, like what Richard would say back in the day. Like, all it takes is one whale selling, and it fuck up the entire chart, and you wouldn't even know why, right? Mm-hmm. And then how would the chart guess that? But then 90% of the time, the chart does say. This is why it's such like you need both. This is why it's so important. You need both, right? But like it is like a weird gut feeling, because like eventually, once you've been looking at charts for a long time, you have a gut feeling about the direction, or you have like you can sort of like take a shot this way or that way or whatever, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the trend is your friend, right?
The trend is your friend, right? I do. I mean, let me get your opinion on this. So I do feel like common sense and a lot more logical, sort of like logic would say this plus this equals this outcome, right? And I feel like that works a lot better in bear markets, and then those guys end up kind of doing not as good as the foam tards in the bull market, because like there's like there's certain things like we can be retarded longer than you can be solvent, right? Or this thing pumps harder than you think is possible, right? And this is kind of like I see there's a lot of guys that do very well in bear markets and stuff, and you see it right now. There's guys doing very well in bear markets and stuff, and they're very loud or whatever with their projects or coins and stuff, and then. Not that they fumble the bag, but more like the foam tards and stuff. I end up doing better and stuff, but it's all about where you take profits as well and stuff. So it's kind of a yin and yang. But I see a lot of the really logical guys. This should do this. Then they're hitting every single call perfectly. Boom, 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 boom. Then the bull market starts, and they start missing a lot because that's kind of the yin yang there. Have you ever seen that and stuff? Because I know you've experienced bull and bears and stuff. Because you've been around crypto pretty much as long as I have. I mean, I'm in 2016 basically.
Yeah, I'm trying to think which one I feel I'm better in. I don't know, man. That's a great I don't know. That's a great question. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have. Oh, yeah. I guess I'm not great in the bull either because I'm never really selling the identical top. I'm never hitting the exact top.
But that's why you hit the big gains as well.
Yep.
Because the guys who are like doing well in the bear, they sell early.
Mm-hmm.
They sell, but and they can say, well, I get guaranteed profit. Well, that's true too. Not wrong, but it's just
you miss the run up.
You miss the run up. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
That's the challenging part, right? Is having strong enough hands to be in the green, but can't get too greedy, right? It's like bulls and bears make money, but pigs get slaughtered.
Right.
So it's hard not to be a pig and then keep holding on to your coins. Yeah. So over time, I've definitely learned to take profits. I forget who was saying it the other day, but I'm going to steal the quote: "Is don't fall in love with these coins because the coins don't love you." Right? You should only love things that love you back, right? Love your family,
right?
Stuff like that. But don't love the coins because they don't love you.
Yep.
So remember that.
Coins don't have feelings.
I wish I gave credit for that. That was bars.
Yep.
That was bars. That was really good. Yeah, I mean that's true. These hoes ain't loyal, right? Spin multiple plates, but
that's right.
Yeah. Dang, that's so crazy. That is so crazy. So I guess let's get back to the validating. Let's answer some questions in the chat because I know the chat's going to have a lot of questions and stuff. So Kyle, can you read some of the super chats? Let's have see if we can answer these.
Yeah, we got Stealthy Juice Man saying Vato Miguel or Vapo. I didn't have funds to get into the last course. Will you and Charlie open it up again at the end of this year?
Yes. Yeah, we will be doing one more course this year. Sometime in Q3.
Okay.
Sometime in Q3. Yeah, we'll announce it and stuff. It's not this month or next month.
Okay.
Sure. But it will happen this year. Yeah.
Then we got John Anderson, 2 speakers with great insight. Oh yeah, man.
Thank you, man.
We got Corey Rudiforth. Odds on 5K in Pulse now making you $1 million in 2025.
$5,000 in Pulse?
5K, yes.
What's your thoughts, David?
To $1 million?
Yeah.
No. You're not going to get to $1 million on 5K on Pulse. I don't think. I'd have to do a little math, but that's a stretch. Depends on your time range, though. It depends how many. Was it 1 year? They said.
Well, no, till 2025ve. So, what was that?
It's roughly a 200x, basically. It'd have to
200x. 200 a year and a half. Actually, it's possible, but I don't know if it's probable. Doesn't sound very likely. Yeah. I'll say we're going to hit big resistance at a penny because that's like a big target for Pulsechain.
Psychological, yep.
Psychological, and for sackers, that's like a 10x. So for anybody who's sacked, if you sell 10% of your bag at a penny, you get all the money you put in back. That's attractive. So good luck getting past the penny. Can take some big buys.
Then we got Looks for Danger. Coins are 304s. Then we got Crypto King asking, I want to add another validator to my existing. I need to know how to do that safely. Is it possible?
It is totally possible. Yep.
Can you run multiple I know the answer, but can you run multiple validators on the same machine?
Or do
I have to have 1,000 laptops to have 1,000 validators?
Oh yeah, so one laptop can do 1,000 stakes of Pulsechain. Yeah.
Is it system requirements or just like the script can only run so many, or like what's the limitation there on like how many validators per machine?
The limitation is we only know a guy who has 1,000 stakes. I literally don't know any human alive who has more than 1,000 Pulsechain stakes. So I would love for the name of science to get more than 1,000 on a computer and see what the real max is, because I don't know what it is.
Dude just smiling.
It's a testament.
If you've got that much pulse, if you've got over $5 million in pulse, call me and let's do some science.
So okay, next one, Kyle.
We got
go.
Right. Sorry. Yep.
To give Crypto King the so gitlab.com/David Feeder, or you can go to validatorstore.com/free tutorials.
Yep.
And I've got a script that you can follow on how to stake more pulse on your validator computer.
Nice.
Now we got a lot of questions of the same thing. Also asking, what's the best operating system to be running these scripts?
Yeah, in my opinion, it's Ubuntu Linux. You can use whatever version of Linux you want, but I like Ubuntu because it's kind of the simplest and most supported, and it's easy and it's free. And just use Ubuntu. Yeah.
Perfect. And then we got Franklin. David, please explain to the people the difference between the tip addy or tip address and the withdrawal address.
Oh, yeah. So there's two kinds of rewards in being a validator.
Okay.
You get consensus rewards, which is from the beacon chain. That's when you attest a block or when you propose a block.
Okay.
And then there's, actually, I'm sorry, those are the two separate ones. You have a testing, and you're just kind of voting on somebody else's, another validator's block. You're saying, yeah, that block looks good. Thumbs up. And then when it's, so that's your withdrawal address, right? And then all those fees go there, or rewards. Now, when you propose a block, when you're the validator that says, hey guys, it's my turn, I have a new block for the network, and then boom, your validator like mints the block. Your validator for that block gets all the fees for all the gas that all the people did in their MetaMask. And that goes to your wallet as well. Now you could set this to whatever you put it in your, you set it to your MetaMask, and then all this pulse goes right into your wallet. And those are the two big differences.
Perfect. We got Benny Blanco asking, what about Fedora Linux?
Yeah, that works just fine too. Fedora is totally an option. Yep, and pretty much any Linux.
Fedora Linux. My God, what do we notch right here in Minecraft?
Yeah, right. Gotta wear my fedora.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, big neck beards.
Was he big dick beards?
No, big neck beards.
Oh, neck beards. Oh my, whoops.
Oh yeah. But yeah, it works. It's all good. All the same stuff.
I'm still looking for it down.
He says, let's see. Well, Kyle finds someone. David, I saw the reply you gave on Trayvon James's ETH post today. Hilarious.
Oh, thank you. That with me. Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that because I thought that was a banger too.
What was it actually?
Oh, you didn't see that?
No, I didn't see it. Let me see if I can pull it up. Let's see.
Yeah. Reply. It was on Trayvon's Twitter. Let's see. As soon as I saw it, it popped right in my head. I knew the answer and I had to reply.
Oh, let me see if I can find it. When was it? Yesterday or today?
I think it was today.
Let's see if I can find it.
And shout out to Trayvon James. Everybody gives him shit, but I'm actually a fan of his. I watch his show frequently. I'm in his chat. He knows I'm there. He knows me. I like Trayvon. He's a good guy. Watch out for his projects per se.
Right. Share the screen.
Yeah.
Who is this? Wrong answers only. My weed dealer. Oh my God.
I had to. Yo, look at me. Look at that picture. He looks so high.
Yeah.
I had to.
You didn't lose your money. Well, yeah, you lost your money. Oh man, dude, that was such a meme, dude. But yeah, I mean, all those guys everyone in that project got rugged. It wasn't just like they walked out like bandits. No, they lost most of their money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I got so lucky that I didn't go into that. Oh man, I was there watching that stuff, and I just didn't do it. Whew, I was there though.
Yeah, I was
sad stuff.
I was really skeptical of high yield when I first started. Because I was like in the religion of like not Bitcoin Max, but sort of like I was Litecoin, I was in Litecoin and Bitcoin, so I understood like this has got 4 times this, but there's so much block rewards and halvings. That's what I was like. You have to work for the yield. That's kind of what I was brought into, and then eventually it descended to shitcoinery. But like that, like I saw that a lot, and even I knew early on. I was like, that's a crock of shit. Like I knew I was like, yeah, that's probably horse shit, dude. Because man, there was 2-3 weeks before it went to shit. Even some of the most conservative crypto guys are only in Bitcoin and Ethereum maybe like some of the top coins back in the day, like very conservative, right? We're either passively talking about BitConnect, or we're completely like, I've thrown a small bag just to try it out. You know, like I'm like totally lying. You know, they did a ton, but like, you know, like they're like like even though and it was kind of crazy to see like if that, I mean, it was full like it was like the only thing that could come to my mind that's the same was Luna. Same thing. You had these guys who were like these, I would call them like they're in love with math, like in a good way. Like, I mean, it's kind of a weird way to say it, like, but it's basically like, you don't understand, man. I'm just like, you know, I'm putting here, I understand the math and stuff. If I hold this stable coin's paying me 20%, it's stable, it's payable, you know, the math, you know, it's that stuff, right? And those guys just fell for that hook, line, and sinker, and it was big money that were in UST, you know. I mean, the lunatics. You know, I mean, there's all the terrorists.
Oh, yeah. All I got to say is my tattoo is a lot cooler than Mike Novogratz. That's all I know.
There we go.
Oh, man.
Go ahead, Kyle.
Yeah.
Okay, we got a Rusty Fuel asking Xeon CPU or NVIDIA CPU? Or NVIDIA, my bad.
I don't think NVIDIA is making CPUs right now, so whoever asked that question just goofed up. It's it's either Intel or AMD, and for this it actually doesn't matter. Whatever you like, you can use Intel or you can use AMD. Doesn't matter. The most important part is the solid state hard drive. Got to get a fast one. Don't cheap out, and get a 4 terabyte. Right? They're $400, $500, but that's what you want. You want the good parts. Don't be, I'm going to get the $99 one from Best Buy. That's only 1 terabyte. Ain't going to work. Nope. So sorry. Already been down that road with another client where he bought a 1 terabyte computer, this custom Dell. It's all pimped out, and every night the hard drive fills up with the blockchain and it crashes, right? Like clockwork. So yeah, be careful.
So can people actually run stuff on a Raspberry Pi? Because I mean, people are saying Raspberry Pi is for the win and all this stuff. And
no, Raspberry Pi uses an ARM processor. Unfortunately, the Pulsechain is not compatible with ARM processors at the moment. Even if we had the software to run it on a Raspberry Pi is really underpowered for this. It doesn't have enough power or enough RAM or hard drive. So yeah, Raspberry Pi is not up to snuff for this. It's just not enough power. Nope.
Got it.
Okay, thanks, son. Karn, are there any docs for setting up validators?
Oh yeah, tons. Yep. You can go to gitlab.com/pulsechaincom. Yep. All the official documents are there. You can go to validatorstore.com/free tutorials. I'll put
that in the comment section below right now. So there you go.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
And then you can watch all of RH Max's videos.
Shout to the boy. Sheesh.
Yep. You can watch all of Gamma DevOps's videos.
I have not heard of him. I've not heard of him, actually.
He's an official Pulsechain developer, hired by Richard.
Yep.
And he's also on payroll with Liquid Loans. And they're coming out with the Fetch oracles.
Okay.
So that's coming soon, too. That's another opportunity while we're on this topic. So if you're into validating and you're into running computers and servers to make a little money, they're forking Teller oracles and they're rebranding it as Fetch oracles. And it's going to be native to Pulsechain. You run a computer and you're an oracle. You're just fetching price feeds from exchanges, and then you give it to Liquid Loans, and then they pay us in Fetch coins. So Gamma DevOps is on that payroll, so we'll watch to see how that comes out. It's a couple months away. They're working on it. It's on testnet right now.
Got it.
Okay, we got Franklin asking, David, can you please talk about validator securities as well?
Yeah. So out of the box, when you first install the Ubuntu Linux, it's actually really secure. You really don't have to do much to it at all. Because there's no remote access. You can't log in remotely by default. So by default, it's actually really secure. It's when you want to get fancy and you want to use remote access software so you can log in from your phone while you're on the beach, then it gets more complicated and you got to be more careful. But really, as long as, and on your firewall, just have the basic rules. There's really not a whole lot you got to do as far as security. There really isn't. It's actually pretty tight out of the box.
Got it.
Then we got Healing Leaf. Could you explain how to receive Pulse reward from being a validator?
Oh yeah, this is the best part. Shout out to Vitalik Buterin. This is actually his invention. So part of the beacon chain is Vitalik blessed the validators with gasless free rewards. So every 2 or 3 or 4 hours, you just get your pulse just goes right into your wallet like magic. It just shows up.
Poof.
Yep.
Yep.
So it just drips right in.
Pretty cool.
Thanks, Vitalik.
Yeah, the chat's just going funny. He's like, I was joking about the Raspberry Pi, you guys.
Raspberry Pi, the fuck are we talking about?
Oh, that's such a good joke. I love it. This is going to go viral. It's like, these guys hate Raspberry Pis. Let me tell you why. Well,
Yo, Raspberry Pis, man, they do kind of suck, man. They're like shitty computers. Why would you want
Shitting on all of them?
Yeah,
Super
dude.
Saiyan.
Yeah, they're horrible. Like they're junk. They're crappy. Like why would I want that? No, I want a good computer.
Like, what are they primarily used for? I know they're talked about a lot because they're like a cheap little thing and stuff you can just run.
Yeah, it's just a cheap little thing. Yeah, that you can just like put this tiny little version of Linux on, so you have like a $20 computer. But like, you could do some things with it, but they're not that cool. I don't like them. It's a toy or like a science experiment. You know, if you want to, I don't know, you want to set your sprinklers to automatically go on when it rains, and you have this little rain detector. It's for like home projects like that, and then you can put in a Raspberry Pi and
teaching
build your own machine.
kids stuff and everything.
Yeah. Building robots and shit. That's what a Raspberry Pi is for. When you want to like, or hydraulic pumps, or you want to control something in real life, like
simple scripts.
Like build something. Yeah, that's what a Pi is for.
Okay, we got Wakanda. Can I do well holding Richard Hart tokens? I don't trust nor like anything else. I'm wrong? Thanks. It says, am I wrong? My bad.
Oh, for only liking those tokens?
Yeah, saying if I could do well just holding those.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing is I'd probably just put a little Ethereum in there. Like, that's the only, like, I mean, we say this for new students. Obviously, they can choose not to listen, do whatever they want. It's your money. You can do anything you want. But we always give a recommendation, especially if you're brand new to crypto. Half the portfolio should be either Ethereum or a combination of like half Ethereum, half Bitcoin, depending on their, everyone's a little different. It's fine to have Bitcoin if you want, but I think Ethereum's going to outperform Ethereum. But outside of like the if we get the spot ETF in 24, or in 23, but it won't go live until 24 basically. And it looks like we're going to have the spot Ethereum ETF in 25, that's kind of like what rumblings I'm hearing. We're like, even if the BlackRock one gets passed this year, it won't go live until next year. And then once it does, if it does really well and people like it, then they'll come out with the next spot ETF, which will be the Ethereum ETF. Then after that, the speculation is going to be like, when's the next spot ETF? I mean, I have a good idea that a lot of the XRP guys are going to be like, the next one's XRP, the next one's XRP, bros. Zen when. No, you're gonna. But this is what some of the bigger like market cap coins, or it probably would be Litecoin, I'd imagine, just because it's been around fucking forever or whatever. But for like late stage, I'm talking 25, like 2025, like, and it might not even happen. It might just be Bitcoin and Ethereum because they're the only ones large enough to handle kind of like that level of volume of transactions and stuff. But yeah. Anyway.
I gotta ask you, Miguel, do you think that on the days of those ETF launches, will that be a sell the news event? Just like everything else, like CB, CME, and Coinbase were?
It's normally I would say yes, but then it depends on inflow. If you actually have a ton of money buying, that's the difference. Is like the thing is the why this people were so psyched for like the CME ones and stuff like that, or like these future ones, because it was like the first time we have an ETF, people can buy Bitcoin, and then they're like, oh, it doesn't really do that stuff. And then it's good for when like you end up having like what's called grayscale ones, when there's like actually a price positive, it's worth more than a Bitcoin, because that shows demand and stuff, so people are buying. But then when there's like I think I'm leaning towards that's not a sell the event sort of a news and stuff. It just depends on all when it happens, because it can be so price positive, just because as long as there's consistent buys and people can buy from 401ks that people, I mean, it's going to be overall, it's such a net positive, because then you can just, if you're DIYing your retirements and stuff like that, and you control your funds and you can go what to buy, people can then now manually hold that in their 401ks or the Roths. It's such a positive. Even in the bear market, then people can just start DCAing from their 401ks. Holy shit. That is huge, dude.
Do you think there's a possibility that this could have the same problem that it kind of actually has for gold and silver, where because SLV and GLD, those tickers on the stock market, well, that's paper gold and paper silver. Well, JP Morgan Bank and Jamie Dimon, they print more silver puts than there are physical bars of silver in the damn planet. So won't they just do that to Bitcoin and
they're
Ethereum?
trying to. That's why so I don't know if you guys saw that, like Bitcoin like pumped to like $32,000 for a second when they passed the futures leveraged Bitcoin. Why do you think they're doing that for? Because they're basically creating more pathways for them to basically fuck up the pump, basically, and be able to short it, of course, right? So they did that first, and then, I think like basically like when they pass that, that's a sell event for sure. Like I think the actual announcement, it's been passed, and then we'll pump up, but then people are like, oh, it's next year, right? And that could happen this year for sure. Then it's really up in the air for the next one, because that Bitcoin one, it's just so much, like it's such, because it's a spot. That means every time you buy and sell, that actually is buying and selling the real Bitcoin. That's why it's so like, that's so big. And that's why like they could possibly like, they'll start passing tons of other like ETFs.
Hey, it's settlable. If you can settle in Bitcoin, you mean by spot? Like, I mean like not like gold and silver. You can't settle SLV and GLD.
No, because that's paper. That's paper. Like the spot.
Isn't this paper Bitcoin?
Sort of, but there's like there's a not a caretaker. What do you call it?
Custodian.
A custodian in the background and stuff like that. But in a way, like it's
there's a vault.
We have to dig into it. Like it's not going to be like how it's not the dream. Like it's not like you're not Uniswap buying it, but you know what I mean. Like it's not like Uniswap buying it in the background, but it steps in the right direction. It's bankers, right?
Well, but it depends what you call the right direction.
I know, right? But look, this is sort of like what we're talking about here with like I joke around about this with like with the Bitcoiners and stuff, that like they're willing to like fuck this shit. We want to be decentralized, and we're like against the man, bro. We're against the man, and then they're like, oh, BlackRock, put it in.
Buy my bags. Yeah.
Buy my like. It's so funny. The Bitcoiners are like, no, we're fully decentralized. We're raging against the machine, bro. And then they're like, oh, put it in. Like,
Mr. Fink. Oh, I need, please buy this.
We'll sell it. We'll sell it on the not sell it, but like they'll sell the crew out for a 2x or whatever. It's like I forgot what the big event was back in Oh, right. They were begging the bankers to buy Bitcoin. That's what it was. I remember now. Buy Bitcoin. I don't think they were buying Ethereum. They couldn't push that narrative, but they're like, bankers are buying Bitcoin. You guys, we got some not ETFs, but we got some like hedge funds are buying Bitcoin now. Like we made institutional money coming. And I remember the narratives. It's been a while, you guys. The institutional buyers are buying right now, bro. It's like $100,000 Bitcoin on the way, bro. It's new narrative. Like. It's still euphoric to me. Like I remember how crazy it was back in 2017. It was like you really felt like, holy fuck, like if I don't buy these coins now, like it's over. Like bro, I'm in the caste system now. Like I'll be poor forever. Like and I feel bad. The other plebs are poor, but I'll just be like rich enough, I guess. 2021 never felt like that. It never felt like that. Even for some of the people, it was a different sort of a feel.
I completely agree with that. Looking back, even at myself, yes, in 2017, I was like, oh my God, we're going to be rich. We'll be kings of the world. Holy shit. We'll never work another day in our lives. Like, I remember that feeling in 2017. It was insane. And then, even when Hex was 54 cents, I didn't quite feel like that. Even when I looked at Stake Wrap and I'm like, wow, I've never seen that many zeros before in my life. Holy shit. like I didn't feel, I felt empty inside still. Like,
I still felt empty. I mean, it was a great feeling, though. It was a great feeling. It really was. But sure, you are right about that whole thing. Like, like the psychological levels, like this is kind of what I talk about in my class a lot, is like that penny is a psychological level. Once we pass the penny, I think you're right. But it all, like, I kind of think there's going to be like some not impulsive. I hate saying that stuff, but but like there's going to be these waves, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it is based off, like, let's just say even though Pulsechain's not doing, like, let's just say we're muddling and kind of going down right now, but then Ethereum and Bitcoin decide to go on a run to like $34,000, $38,000, maybe low 40 for Bitcoin, and then this year, and then we crash down. That still would resuscitate, Pulsechain, just because Ethereum's doing really well,
Yes. Yeah. Yes. 100% that drags us up with them because we are so closely tied to Ethereum, and we have the bridge, so we can always you can always swap your Pulse for ETH. Yep.
Yeah. Or vice versa. People then get the wealth effect because they're like, they have the same number of Ethereum, but they're like, that's more dollars.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Kyle. What were you saying?
We got 43OG. What are David's thoughts on DApp node and the development of Pulsechain app for DApp node?
So I don't know too much about DApp node other than the last 2 videos on the ETH Staker channel. It's like some like operating system you put on like a little computer, I guess, and then there's dApps on it you can run. I mean that's cool, looks cool. I don't know who's going to write the Pulsechain app for it though. I mean it'd be cool if somebody did, but like it's okay. It's like a validator toy though. Like it's all right. I haven't tried one though. I don't own one, but it's okay. Kind of cool. Not like mind blowing though.
Got it.
Then we have Forsaken Bacon. Can you validate your own transactions?
It doesn't really work like that. Like, I mean, you just, when you are a validator, your computer just sort of validates all the transactions. Like, I don't sit there at the computer and pick which ones I'm going to do. Like, you don't even really do anything when you run the validator. You just run the script and then you just leave the computer alone. Like, I turn the monitor off and it just sits over there. Like, I don't do anything. So not really. You don't really validate your own transactions. That's not really a thing.
Got it.
Okay.
Now, I guess one thing you can do is if you're a validator, you can hook up your MetaMask to your local node server. So whenever you're in MetaMask and you do send, it sends it to your server first and then it goes to the blockchain. So you could do that, but that's just MetaMask.
Perfect.
Okay. Then we got Franklin asking, David, you ever heard of anyone using NAS Drive in order to store chain data for validating? I was under the impression that hard drive space is what limits NUCs when the space fills.
Well, the NAS it'd have to be a solid state NAS. You can't use regular old school platter hard drives called like HDDs now, right? With the old school like spinning recording inside. They're too slow. They never catch up. They never sync. So a NAS is just like a computer box with a bunch of hard drives in it. Those hard drives are too slow. No way. Now on the NUC, we can get a 4 terabyte solid state hard drive. The Pulsechain blockchain is only 1 terabyte. So we've got 3 left. It should last us 3 to 5 years with the current setup we have. So I think just get yourself a 4 terabyte solid state hard drive and you're in business. That's all you need.
Yep. Then we got Make Moves asking, how do I actually buy Pulsechain? Step by step, please.
You want to give this one?
Yeah, sure. Here's how I do it. Yeah.
Okay.
I've got a Coinbase account. So I take money from my bank account and then I send it to Coinbase. And then you can either get Ethereum or you can get some US dollar coins and a little bit of Ethereum for gas. And then you go to bridge.pulsechain.com and then you can bridge your Ethereum or your US dollar coins over into Pulsechain. And then it just shows up in your MetaMask a couple minutes later. That's it. Just bridge.pulsechain.com to connect your MetaMask and you could swap back and forth. That's it.
Yep.
Easy.
You also could buy the wrapped version of Pulsechain just a little bit and then bridge, so that way you have gas and stuff as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is a two-way step process and stuff. And I think people are able to buy through like GoPulse.com as well. I think they're able to buy through, but I've never used it personally. But I've heard there's a lot of these services, but I just haven't touched it because like I still recommend to do it the old-fashioned way because I want people to learn actually how to move their stuff versus like I've known a lot of these guys who get onboarded using these third-party. And this is not a diss on them or anything like that. Like it probably is a very useful service, but then they don't even know how to bridge back. They just have. I've met
They're
quite
stuck.
a few. They're stuck. Yeah. So it's like I want them to learn
how to get out.
Yeah, you have to learn the step-by-steps. Like get a Coinbase account, get a Kraken, get a Gemini. Those are 3 exchanges I do recommend right now. Those are good exchanges. KYC, Coinbase is on the stock market. If something was going down with them and stuff like that, like to be able to borrow money and stuff, like you'd be able to get your funds out and stuff like that. One is the safest exchange, but you never leave your money there for the love of God. But
Yes.
download a MetaMask. Obviously, I think for most people, just get it on Chrome first. Make sure you're buying from the Chrome's. Make sure you're downloading it from the Chrome store. It has over 10 million downloads. It's like 3.5 stars. Lol. Mostly with people probably fucking up like their seed phrases or it's the classics. The classics.
Can't access my account. What the fuck?
Where did my money go? I had bought $100 and now it's $50. What the fuck?
It's a scam, guys.
It's a scam, you guys. My 10% of Ethereum's not worth what I bought it for.
Well, no shit.
And then when it pumps up, they're like, this stuff's pretty cool. Why'd you complain that it went up? Like, well, hey, I just want to say, like, why is my coin worth more money than I put into it? This bullshit, bro. I need to give money back to the You guys, I figured out. You guys, I know this has to have happened somewhere, right? Where some guy's like, dude, I figured out a huge hack, bro. Like, if you buy on this website, they're fucking like, bro, you're gonna end up with more. Somebody did it. Somebody like bought Ethereum one day. Next day, he's like, dude, I bought $10,000 of this coin and it's like $12,000, bro. I think I found a hack on this website. If you buy from this website, you get this Ethereum. It's always more money, dude. Somebody had to have done that. I know it's true.
Oh my god.
I believe it. You just reminded me of a really embarrassing moment I had like a long time ago. When back in the day, I was mining Bitcoin in my like parents' basement, and the Bitcoin pool I was using got hacked. And I logged into my account, and it said I had like 10 Bitcoin or something. And this was like a long time ago, so it wasn't worth a lot of money. But I had one like shitty computer. I'm like, whoa, 10 Bitcoin. I'm like, how did I mine all that? I'm rich. Like, this is genius. And found out like hours later, like, no, that they actually got hacked and I lost everything.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like
Forsaken bacon. He's like, tell me you're a boomer without telling me.
The diss things.
Yeah. So David, where can people follow you, man?
Yep. So you can follow me on Twitter. It's just at David Feeder. And same on YouTube, youtube.com/DavidFeeder. Yep. And then my website is validatorstore.com.
Can we show that website for 1 second, you guys?
Oh,
let's I'll show it on my side right here. I have it pulled up.
Did you pull it up?
Yeah, it's right there. It's
I think the one time we needed to not fuck up, I think the screen share fucked up.
Oh,
no, here you go. No, it's moving now.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
pull it up.
Yeah, I was like, I had to pull.
I was like, oh yeah, no. Whatever. When you click that website, it's fucking up.
What?
Straight up.
Maybe David could share it from his side and stuff.
We'll give that a shot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, do you want me to do a screen share?
That'd be great. Rare Chase L. Rare Chase.
I was sitting here like, what do you mean? It's like
pulling up. It's like pulling up the Pulsechain price. It's like, here you go.
Can the host on the Zoom enable screen share?
Yes, sir.
We already lacking.
There you go.
Like, everyone in the chat would be like, El Chris. Beautiful, man.
All right, guys.
Let's see. Let me pull that up over here on Zoom. Here we are. Just 1 second.
Here, I'll give you guys the website here, validatorstore.com.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Yeah. So this is validatorstore.com, where you can be your own blockchain validator at home. And all right, so what we've got here is there's really kind of 4 things. The main homepage here, you can scroll down, and this talks all about the hardware. So if you want, you could buy yourself a mini validator hardware kit, and you get the computer, the screen, keyboard, and mouse. I install the RAM, and I install the hard drive, and I test everything myself on my workbench, and then I sign it with I put a number on it, and then I autograph it. So you can get one of those. I got tons of testimonials here and pictures of everybody's awesome looking validators. All right, so fill out the form at the bottom if you want one. And then I've got my free tutorials page. I've got videos, and then I've got my GitLab with all my scripts. Cool. So this is always free forever. You guys can just use the exact same stuff I'm using here. And then at the top, I got a hire me page where if you've already got your own hardware and you just want to do a Zoom call with me and I'll show you how to set everything up from scratch, or if you're already a validator and it's broken and you need help like now, then I'm available for tech support. So you can
what a great picture.
Here. Yeah, thanks. Yeah. So, and then last thing I've got is, so I kind of forked this idea from the Ethereum guys. They've got like ethpool.org. But what I'm doing is I'm doing cloud Pulsechain validators.
Nice.
So for $300 a month, I do everything. The hardware is included. I do all the updates. I do all the patches. And you don't have to do anything. You don't even have to know there's a computer. You just have one meeting with me. I help you make your stakes. and then boom, you're up and running, and that's it. You're a validator. So that's what I've got going on. This is my full-time job now. This is my first entrepreneurial adventure in my whole life. So,
but it's something that you've done. You've worked in this industry, which is like that's the important part. And like, I think you're doing a great job, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, I've been an IT guy for 10 years, so this is all I know is how to fix computers and fix servers, and it's my life. It's all the only job I've ever had. So this just happened to be the right place, right time. It just worked out perfect. So yeah, and shout out to all my clients and customers. I really appreciate you guys, and this is a dream come true. Like, this isn't even work for me. I love it. Like, I get to wake up every day excited to help people with their validators for Pulsechain. Like, I love it.
Real fast, would you mind unsharing your screen so we can see you while you say all this?
Oh yeah, totally.
Thank you.
Yep, there we go. All right.
Oh, and you're gone.
Yeah. Oh,
I love Zoom.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Well, we can hear you. That's how
we can hear you.
Yeah.
The
all right,
voice
cool.
from God.
Yeah.
Well, David.
So, yeah,
dude,
that's it.
That's freaking awesome, man. Thank you guys so much for joining me, man. Thank you for Kylo Trent for being here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I will be back this Thursday with Buck and Buck and the team from Fiat and stuff, and we're gonna be talking everything about the Flux token. We're gonna be talking about the token, the launch, the airdrops, and some of the cool pools. There's some really cool pools on that website and stuff. So we'll be talking all things, I guess, eFiat, Flux, Famous, and the I guess in the next 30 to 40 days we should get Fiat on Pulsechain, and we should get Famous on Pulsechain as well. So yeah, man, pretty cool, dude. I can't wait to have the guys on and stuff. And yeah, man, David, thank you so much for joining me, man.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Always, man. It's been a great conversation. You're a great dude in the community, and you're helping onboard a lot of people into the chain, even if they don't want you to.
That's right. Whether they like it or not, I'm going to keep making more validators.
Hell
Beautiful,
yeah.
man. I just love the idea of this one guy in the van protecting the Pulsechain ecosystem from getting wrecked.
The last man standing.
I just see him like Mad Max in the desert.
He's going through the oil wars.
But with that, you guys, thank you so much. I will be back here Thursday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, just the same time we started this stream. And then on Saturday, I will be here at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and stuff. So we'll be doing there's going to be a lot of streams we're going to be getting done. And I've got some really cool streams coming up that haven't been announced yet, but they're gigantic, dude. I got some big guests coming on, man. So can't wait, man. Catch you guys later.
Peace.